Okay, we will start our meeting now. The first item of business is to adopt the agenda for tonight. Do we need to make any changes to our agenda tonight? Can I hear a motion that we adopt the agenda?
I make a motion that we adopt the agenda.
Got a motion, second. All in favor of adopting the agenda as you have it, raise your hand. Okay, now we will adopt the minutes from our September 23rd, 2024 meeting.
I make a motion that we adopt the minutes from August 2026, 2024.
Okay, we got a motion to adopt our minutes. We have a second.
That's it.
Okay, we got a motion, second. All in favor of adopting the minutes from last month's meeting? Raise your hand. Okay, thank you. The only thing I have on the mayor's update is to remind everyone that we've got trunk or treat next Thursday night. Halloween, that's next Thursday night. And we have our events committee working hard on our Christmas parade. We're trying very hard with Sonny's leadership, pull everything together and have one of our best Christmas parades we've had. And it'll be at night this year. December 5th, is that right?
Yes, it's fifth.
Starts at 6:30?
6:30.
Okay, starts 6:30 at Daniel Smith's, and we'll come this way, and where will we terminate the parade?
The school, you pull into
The school, okay, yeah. I know we had discussed Durant Street, but we decided against that, so it'll go all the way to the Georgia Washington School. That's where the parade will terminate. Okay, now, I have, department reports. We'll have a report from the, Public Works. Okay. Okay, Blue, we didn't mean to overpass you. This is Mr. Blue. What's your last name, Blue?
Cole. We're used to it, fortunately.
Blue is the assistant manager or manager of Meriwether County?
Assistant.
Assistant manager, okay. Blue's gonna give a short presentation tonight on the T-Splosh vote that's coming up in 2 weeks. This is a tax that local entities can use. It's not a new tax, a different tax, but the current T-Splosh is going away at the end of this year, and we have to vote to continue on for the next 6 years. And so Blue is here to give us some detailed information on the upcoming T-Splosh vote. Okay, Blue.
I did find an extra one. I didn't find one more. Sorry about not having, enough copies, folks. I had my presentation, but with the... Oh, thank you. All right. One more. So thank y'all, Mayor, Council, for having us here today. As Mayor Garrett said, my name is Blue Cole. I am the Assistant County Administrator here in Meriwether. Wanted to talk with you guys about the T-Splosh referendum that will be on your ballot either right now if you do early voting or on November 5th when you go for election day. So the first question that we have to ask ourselves is, what is T-Splosh? Well, T-Splosh is a single county transportation special purpose local option sales tax. And it is a sales tax that funds transportation projects only within Meriwether County. This includes the repair or replacement of sidewalks, road work, equipment, culverts, and bridges. And if you have a copy of the presentation in front of you, this orange Kubota is from the city of Warm Springs. They bought this with their T-Splosh proceeds earlier this year. The yellow motor grader was bought by the county earlier in '24 to work on the gravel roads that we have around the county. And this nicely gravel, freshly packed road is Bear Creek Road up on the north end of the county. So what we're gonna do is as we go through the presentation, I'm gonna be able to show you guys the actual examples of T-Splosh work and your T-Splosh dollars that are at work around the county. Flip over to the next page on slide 3. The purpose of T-Splosh is basically what can it be used for? And it is used for improving and maintaining the existing transportation infrastructure that we have here in Meriwether County. It can also be used to purchase transportation-related equipment. And the key thing to remember about these special purpose local option sales tax is it has to be spent on the exact thing that the voters decide in the referendum. So in this case, this has to be specifically spent on transportation. Now, you guys know, because y'all have lived here or live here, that Meriwether is one of the biggest counties in the state of Georgia. We have over 505 square miles. It's 23rd biggest by size in the state. And out of those 505 miles, we have 599 miles of local roadway. 363 of it is paved, about 240 is dirt, either red dirt or gravel. And the cost to maintain a single mile of roadway is about 50,000 miles for a 3-inch layer of gravel for 1 mile. It's about $220,000 if you're going to do what's called a surface treatment. That's putting something just on the surface of the road to shed the water off and keep the water from getting up underneath the roadway surface and into the base. If you're going to resurface a paved roadway, which means grind down about this much and then add maybe this much asphalt on top of it, it's going to be about $400,000 a mile. Now, if you want to pave a dirt road and take it from gravel or dirt to paved, it's going to be about $900,000 to $1 million a mile. Beulah Evans Road, which is one of the roads that we're finishing up paving right now, is just a touch over a mile long, and it was $1.5 million for us to pave it. Now that included the right-of-way acquisition, that included a little bit of engineering because we took the turn that was there and graded down the turn and then put in a stop sign. So we made the road, not only did we pave it, hopefully we've made it a little bit safer by cutting down on the sharp curves. So you can see right off the bat, just taking care of gravel roads, dirt roads, 50 grand a year. If we wanted to rock that 1 mile worth of roadway. Okay, if you guys will flip over, I talked about Beulah Evans just a second ago. That is what this wonderful red dirt is right here. This is the curve in Beulah Evans that they were getting ready to smooth out. And you can see that this was over the winter. They are almost done paving now, but just a little bit of history of T-Splosh. T-Splosh came about in 2017 when the legislature passed the referendum that allowed it to be on the ballot. In 2019, Meriwether County passed their T-Splosh 1. It was one of the first individual counties in the state to do it. Collection started in April of 2020 and they will continue until the end of April 2025. Now when we originally put it out for a vote and on the ballot, the projection was that Meriwether was going to get about $8 million off of the T-Splosh time period, which was 5 years. Because the economy has been so good, Meriwether and the cities inside Meriwether have gotten closer to $10 million over that 5-year period. And every cent of that goes back towards transportation. From 2019 to 2024, T-Splosh has paved 5 roads: Peaceful Lane, Tuskegee Lane, County Line, Mount Pilgrim, and then Beulah Evans. And then we have gravelled over 20 roads. I've got about 20 roads listed right here, but we've probably done another 10 since then. So the money that we have raised goes directly towards paving the 5 roads that we did and then graveling and improving the road surface of the other gravel roads. The site that you see right here is where on Lone Oak Road, where the KB Auto Assist driveway is. This was a public-private partnership between the IDA, the county, and the industry. The industry contributed to have money go into their new driveway and their new access into their new building over there. You guys will flip over. Some of the other things, we are on slide 7 on page 4. Another thing that the T-Splosh 1 did was we repaired unsafe roads, replaced culverts, did patching, we added gravel, also increased some of the signage that we have out on the roadways, and of course I've already mentioned the equipment. Some of the culvert work that we did was the big 72-inch culverts, sometimes 2 and 3 installs of them. So we did culverts on River Cove, Strickland Town, and Dukes Waddell. I mentioned signage just a few minutes ago. If you have been driving around the county recently, you have probably noticed that we have got new green and white name signs going up all over the county. That's just a very visual representation of how transportation and signage can help with public safety and our first responders. Imagine if you're driving an ambulance and it's close to midnight and the sign that you're going by is faded, the colors don't stand out, and you're not really sure if that's the right road or not. Well, we have had our guys and gals going out and swapping out the road name signs, so when the deputies and first responders are going to a call, they know exactly where they're going because the road sign is new and bright and reflective. I mentioned the motor grader a few minutes ago. We have also bought 2 dump trucks and a lowboy trailer over the last couple of years with these T-Splosh funds. And it's you wouldn't think of a lowboy being a vital piece of equipment until you have to move a motor grader from one end of the county to the other. The previous lowboy that we had was close to 15 years old, and after that many years on these roads, the welds were starting to break, the joints were starting to get fatigued, and we knew that we needed to buy a new piece of equipment. So fortunately, we were able to do that. If you look at the picture right here, this is on Finley-Cato Road, and you can see where the red dirt and the clay is showing. This is where water has come over the road and overtop the road and wash the road and the gravel into the stream right here. What we had to do right here was go back in and put in another culvert, because if the road is continuously being overtopped, then you can see how the road has been eaten away around the end of the culvert. So we had to go in and put in another pipe right here to make sure it could handle the volume of water. For whatever reason, when it rains in Meriwether, it rains. This county has had more 4- and 6-inch storm events in the last 18 months than any other place that I think I've ever been. It's amazing. I don't know if it's because of the mountains or just where we are, but when it rains here, y'all, it rains. So having roads wash away is not unheard of. It is not unknown. In fact, when I first came to Meriwether, I was actually shocked to find out that school will be closed if the buses can't get down the roads. And that just absolutely blew my mind. So that's one of the reasons we have been working so hard to try and get rock out on these roads, try and get the rain off the roads, let the water drain to the lowest point and get it off of our roads, because water is the enemy of road work. Some of the things that are coming up in the T-Splosh 2 funding, Meriwether and the cities are projected to raise approximately $12 million over a 6-year period. And I want to talk about that for just a second. I told you guys about how T-Splosh 1 was 5 years and it went from 2020 to 2025. Because the county and all 7 municipalities agreed to work on T-Splosh together, they all signed an IGA, we were able to put it on the ballot for 6 years, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you have to do when you can get an extra year of funding by working together with your friends and neighbors, that's a great thing for us. And I want to thank the mayor and council for the work that you guys did in signing the IGA so that we could bring this to the voters. So thank you all very much. Each municipality will get a percentage of the proceeds based on their population. And then for that $12 million amount, it would take at least 20 mills of property tax to equal that amount of money. And that's the other thing about T-Splosh, is because it is a sales and use tax, it relieves the sole burden on the property owners. The visitors, the folks that come down, coming down from the Gay Fair just the other weekend was a perfect example. All those visitors came down here and spent their money, and they contributed to the roads as well. They 1 cent at a time, the money they paid in comes back to the cities, comes back to the counties, and then goes back out onto your roadways. This T-Splosh Funds at Work sign that you see right here is on River Cove Road. We've been putting these up around the county so you can see some of the larger projects that we have done. If you flip over, you can see the breakdown of the cities and how much they're going to receive. And Woodbury is projected to receive at least $528,000 over the 6-year collection period. And that goes directly to the city for your mayor and council members to make the decisions for local spending. I'm just going to come back to that. This is local control. And these are your decision makers. This is how local government's supposed to work. You're supposed to be able to sit here, tell them what you need, and then they can come back, fit it into what they've got, and then bring it forth for you. Some of the other funding sources that we have outside of T-Splosh, we get on average about $900,000 from the state. This is a little bit of money that comes off of the gas tax that was just reinstated. In addition to that $900,000, we add about $300,000 in local funding. Money from either SPLOST or from our general fund that goes towards that. And that typically gives us a little over $1 million just for resurfacing. Now, if this was the only money that we would have, that would not give us the $250,000 that we typically need for the gravel roads. All right, if you guys will flip over one more time. So just to review some of the financial facts, we only get about $1 million a year in non-T-Splosh funding. So that only resurfaces, it says 8 to 10 miles a year on here. I don't think it's that much anymore. It's probably closer to 6 to 8. And then if that was all the money we had, that would be no remaining funds for paving dirt roads, replacing culverts, working on bridges, or doing any of the cross drains that we need to help move the water. Before T-Splosh 1 passed, the last road that was paved in Meriwether was Alley Road, and that was about 10 years ago, maybe a touch over. Since T-Splosh 1 passed, we paved 5 roads. Some of the benefits down on slide 12, mentioned this earlier, it relieves the sole burden on property tax owners. It is for transportation purposes only, and we have a very specific time frame of 6 years. That is one of the reasons that Major Garrett mentioned that this is not a new tax. The tax percentage in Meriwether will remain at 8%, even though it's a 1 cent tax. It is replacing, if it passes, it will replace the one that is currently there. So your taxes are not going to go up. Non-county residents can help pay for transportation improvements. And then it's also paid by everyone who shops or purchases something in the community, including our visitors. And again, all the transportation decisions are made at your local level, either with the county or with your city. Some of the, if you'll flip over to the next page, page 7, some of the planned county T-Splosh items, I've pretty much mentioned them already. We're going to gravel roads, we're going to replace culverts, we're going to replace cross drains, patching, leveling, milling, and resurfacing, bridge and culvert repairs and or replacement, stormwater and drainage, transportation, signage and safety improvements, and then equipment dedicated to transportation, maintenance, and improvement. And to come back to it, if it's not transportation, we can't spend it. We go through an audit. These funds are audited every year. The audit is published in the newspaper, and it's also put on our website. So if you want to see how the money is being spent, by state law, we have to show you and tell you and explain it to you. The planned city T-Sploshs are everything that I have said, plus sidewalks. Because we don't have a whole lot of need for sidewalks out in the country, but here in the city, they certainly do. So the cities can do everything that the county does, but plus sidewalks. All right, so if you go to early vote, please consider voting for T-Splosh. Otherwise, November 5th at the general election, please pass it out to your friends, your families, and your coworkers. And if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them now, or you can reach out to us, 672-1314, and ask us. Yes, sir.
Why does it cost $50,000 to put gravel down for 1 mile? I know better, so just.
Right, yes. Well, it's because of the transportation costs. It's gonna include hauling, and that's a 3-inch layer. That's 3 inches worth, and just with the volume and
For
doing
1
the.
mile, $50,000, and a motor grader out there to spread it?
Mhm.
You could
Yes,
set,
sir.
you could set a dump truck at 3 inches on chains and
Mhm.
spread that itself.
Mhm.
And a motor grader would just come in behind it.
Yes, sir, and we do some tailgate spreading and then have the motor grader
Right.
out there. That's just, I mean, it's expensive, and it
Well, I mean,
continues
I've
to
been
get
in the,
more
I've
expensive.
worked for companies in the grading business for over 25
Mhm.
years. So,
Right.
you ain't blowing smoke for me, but
Yes,
that's
sir.
a little bit ridiculous.
Yes, oh, no, I agree. I absolutely agree.
So who's gonna profit some of this money?
I'm sorry,
Who's gonna profit some of this money?
who's gonna profit some of the money?
Because $50,000 on 1 mile, man, that's ridiculous.
Yes, sir, no, I agree with you, absolutely. I agree, it is high.
Anybody else got a question?
All right, thank y'all very much. We truly appreciate it. And again, if y'all have any other questions, please don't hesitate to reach out.
Thank you, Blue.
Thank you, yes, sir.
The projects that the cities and the county have agreed to will be on the ballot.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We'll be in with the referendum language.
Right, so you read the referendum, I know this ballot is long, and people don't like to read all that legalese. But, yep, that's right, but if you read this T-Splosh on the ballot, you'll see what the city of Woodbury, I believe it's making by specific by cities and the
Yes,
county.
sir, it is.
You'll see what the city set aside, will use that money for. The other question, and you probably, I know you don't know this off the top of your head, but do you have any idea how much the city of Woodbury received on this current T-Splosh?
No, sir, I'd have to go back and look at that. I'd imagine it's in the $400,000 range, though, just based off of your previous numbers.
Okay, also, this money
That's
goes,
the projection for the next house. Yes, sir.
the money will be received by the county.
Yes, sir.
And the county will distribute to the cities based on
Correct.
our
Yes, sir.
percentage,
Correct, yes,
which is
sir.
based on population.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and it's gonna be a needed project for us, county and the cities. Particularly Woodbury, we're in a predicament situation, a financial situation here because we're out of compliance with the department audits. Because we have not had an audit in 3 years, which means that we cannot get grants from anybody. Even the Georgia Department of Transportation and the LMIG program, which is, provides money to cities and counties for road repair. We can't get that, but we can participate in T-Splosh.
Yes, sir.
That's gonna be local money, and we can receive this money, so
Yes,
it's gonna be
sir.
a big plus for the city of Woodbury.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mayor. Any other questions? Thank you. Thank y'all.
All right, thank you, Blue.
Yes, sir.
Okay, next item on the agenda is, here from the, our department, chief, you have a report.
Just one thing. Good evening, everyone. Only thing I want to say is that the police department, we're actually in the midst of doing some area beautification on our side of the building. So I just would like to thank, I don't know if anybody here is from Sims Park, but Sims Park, they donated some of the wooden posts and some mulch in order for us to, you know, clean up this area over here on the side of the building. So I just wanted to thank anybody from Sims Park for donating those supplies for us. That's all I got.
Thank you. Yeah, we don't have a report from, Public Works Department, or the Water and Sewer Department. Plan is on, Dave, do you have anything?
No, sir.
Okay. And then, city clerk, unfortunately, she was called, just before this meeting, she got 2 sick kids. And she's had to go home and take care of them and take them to the emergency room. She's had that going on for about a week now. So she's not here with us tonight. Now we'll come down to the committee, Historic Preservation Committee.
No report, please.
No report. Okay, the business forum, I don't think we have anybody here representing that. No. The events committee, Sonny, you have anything?
Okay, we're really moving and grooving now that we're in holiday time. So, like the mayor said, we have trunk or treat. You probably have seen these all over town. I have a few of these if you wanted to take any of them to your work, to hang them up. Sometimes people put in employee lounges to make sure we have plenty of kids. And so I have some of these with me, and we're gonna have it, last year, our first trunk or treat for the city was just kind of in the parking lot, and a lot of people said, well, we didn't have any place to park, it was all crowded, and we don't know if we can park over at the bank. So what we're doing this year is Chief Jackson has us going, starting over here on the far side by the trees, and wrapping around the building, and we end up at the, not the Sally Port. I'm not sure what the building is called, but the last building is the police department over here. And so the kids will be wrapping around and all the cars will be around here. Fitzgerald is gonna bring their big, huge, like almost semi kind of truck with pumpkins to give away like they did last year. The kids loved it. They tried to all take home pumpkins that were twice their size. We have almost double the amount of trunks this year. So we're gonna hopefully keep growing it every year. Plus the fire department, the state patrol, the police department, and the sheriffs. They will all have things to give away to the kids too. And we're just like last year, really popular was the cupcake walk, and we have that going. We're gonna have bags of popcorn. It should be really fun. It's on Halloween, Thursday night, between 5 and 7, so it's still light out. A lot of people just bring, especially their little kids, to trunk or treat here. But then a lot of people, they come here and then they go more like dark time to go around the town. So let me know if you need any of these, and it's going to be next week on Thursday. The next thing I want to talk about is that we've been given an amazing gift. I posted it, and we're so excited. I know I reported to you guys a couple of months ago that our movie night was canceled because we hadn't paid Hollywood for the rights to be able to have the movie, and they found out, and Hollywood found Woodbury and called us and said, you can't do that. We said, well, the kids aren't paying, and said, we don't care. And we were all set up too. We were gonna have, you can see all this stuff here. The movie was gonna be projected up on the wall, and the police department had all the equipment to be able to project it. We were so excited, and then we had to tell the kids it was over. So the police department decided that they would gather a fund for us, and I just can't believe it. They put together $400 for us from the police department to fund a movie. Now it costs $300 to $350 to be able to purchase the license to show the movie one time. It's like up to 50 kids, it's $100, over 50 kids, $350, over 50 kids, or 50 people is $350. So we're just probably gonna pay the $350 because last time, 39 kids showed up. So I'm pretty sure when we publicize this that we're gonna go past that. So we'll do the $350, but that still leaves us with money to be able to do the popcorn and the candy and the whole snack pack that we did for the kids. And our plan that we're discussing right now, it's not set in stone, is that we're going to do the movie night during Christmas break. Give the parents a chance to have a parent night out and get away from the kids if they've been around for more than 2 weeks, and drop them off here, and they'll have a great time. So thank you so much, Chief Jackson and all of the officers from Woodbury PD. It just means so much. And they were saying, okay, now next you challenge the fire department to match us. So we go, okay, we could do that once a quarter, and we'll just keep challenging the different departments. That'd be great. Okay, the last thing I want to tell you is about the Christmas parade. We're going to be having the Christmas parade, and our plan is to try to have the Christmas parade the same time every year so that we can become known for our parade the way that others, like Warren Springs every year has it the same day before Thanksgiving. Sonoy has theirs, and it's always like 2 weeks before Christmas, and it's set in stone nighttime parade every year. We want to try to do the same thing, and ours is, like they announced last meeting, it'll be the first Thursday of December every year. The tree lighting, which will be in the main square of like Durand and Main, will be at 6 o'clock, and our plan is to have hot chocolate and stuff there for the kids, have the tree lighting, so that the tree will be lit when the parade starts coming down. And the parade will start at Smitty's at 6:30, and probably, ending within an hour later at the school. But what we're doing is that we're really trying to rock it this year. We already have 6 floats. We're hoping to double that to a dozen. We have one band. We're trying to get a second with the drill team. We're going to have the twirlers from Flint River Academy. We've got 4-H Club, a couple of floats from churches where the kids are going to be on the floats singing Christmas carols. Baptist Church is going to probably put all their kids in a boat that'll be pulled. So we've got a lot of fun ideas. We have motorcycle club, classic car club, veterans are coming, horses. Family is going to bring their horses and ride them. And because it's a nighttime parade, we're going to have lights on everything. So when it comes to the horses, when the bridles and saddles, they'll be getting those lights that are the ones that already have the battery. So that because you can't try to attach it to something else like a car. But for the cars and the floats, for just a car or a truck or even a float that's not too big, this puppy costs $12 on Amazon. It's 150 watt, and it allowed me, I was testing it, it allowed me to do 3 strings, 72 feet per string. 72 feet is 432 lights. It allowed me to do 3 of those. So 3 strings, 216 feet, 1,296 lights, and it was $12, 150 watt. So people were going, well, how do we light it besides those little batteries? Because if you did a lot of batteries around a float, you'd be getting a lot of those things at Hobby Lobby or wherever you would go to get them, Walmart. But something like this is 150 watt. You're going to have a float that has a lot of blow-up things, because a lot of people, you have a trailer and you can put Santa and you can put Frosty the Snowman, and there are all those blow-ups that are lit and blowing up. You probably would need more than this. And I was on Amazon for a 400 watt. It's like $20. So really, and it just plugs into your lighter. So these are different ways to do it. Another, and besides the little battery string of lights, like let's say the children are going to be 4-H, they're going to be walking. I don't know if they're going to have animals or not, but they're going to be walking. They're probably going to have on those kinds of glow-in-the-dark stuff, or they're going to have strings on their wrists and on their necks that light up. But you could actually just put a battery on those kids too, because it's just the little lights. But also I've seen big floats where they even have like a mini generator or one of those battery packs. Like sometimes people have battery packs when they go camping, and those can do a lot more. They have like 5 plug-ins and they can do a lot more. So if you're gonna have a more extravagant float, then you wanna go bigger than this. But if you're gonna have an average one, 1,296 lights with 3 long strings, this is a great deal. What we've been doing is that we've contacted all the different departments, all the nonprofits. Pretty much we've got everybody. We have a few more that we're going to hear back from. But now our last group of people that we're talking to are businesses to have floats to promote their business. And so we have in the front lobby, right there next to where the window is where you pay your water bill, we have a float form. You tell us what kind of float you want, if you want to have a float, if there's going to be people walking, if it's a marching band, all of that's on here. If you're a business, it's $25 to participate. If you're a nonprofit or a church, which of course nonprofit too, then it's free. And so it's a really great way to be able to promote your business to our community and some of the surrounding cities that will be coming to for a really low price. The last, and then attached to this are float ideas. I've got on here simple floats that are just lights and tinsel around just a trailer that you would pull with a truck, to more extravagant where you have like hoops of PVC pipe with balloons and lights and stuff on it. But all of them are not really, really expensive. The other thing is I grew up in LA, so I was at the Rose Parade all the time. You spend the night for the parade and you wake the next morning it starts, which was very cool. But there's a lot of floats that are families that are on horses as a family, or floats that they have, this is the Jones family. So you don't have to be a business to have a float. Let us know